Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Peter Messmer, and I am super excited to bring you this case study with Mabel's Labels. Today, we are going to show you guys how the Mabel's team used AddShoppers and increased revenue by 7% and recovered cart abandon conversion rate by 460%. So lots of really exciting stuff for you guys today, and let's go ahead and jump into it. So let me go ahead and introduce you to our presenters, one of whom is me. So that is me there on the left. Like I said earlier, my name is Peter Messmer. I am the Director of Growth here at AddShoppers, and today we have a very special guest. I am so excited to introduce you to Joe from Mabel's Labels. If you don't mind, Joe, can you give us a little on your background?
Yeah, hey Peter, thanks for having me. Hey everybody. So I am the digital marketing analyst at Mabels. I've been here for about a year and a half, and I handle our SEO, our PPC. I help manage our email strategy and kind of optimizing and everything that goes with that. Our marketing reporting. And I also liaise with all of our kind of third-party vendors, like AddShoppers. And when things get really hairy, I jump in and can help with some art or some coding and that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So glad to have you, Joe. Thanks again for joining. So here is the agenda that we'll run through today. So first off, for anybody that isn't familiar, we will introduce you to Mabel's Labels, and then we'll start at the beginning. So we'll tell you where they were at before AddShoppers and the goals they had, and then we'll show you how they met those goals using our platform, primarily behavioral targeting and the new shopper portal. And then we will have time for some Q&A at the end. Also, before we jump into it, if you have any questions along the way, please do not hesitate to use the Q&A function inside of GoToWebinar. So just drop those in as there's anything on your mind, and we'll either handle them right away if it makes sense or hold those until the end. Housekeeping note number 2, we are recording this session, so if you want to send it out to people, or if you aren't able to stay for the whole thing, not a problem at all. You will get a copy of the recording in your inbox either later today or sometime tomorrow. So let's go ahead and dive in. So first up, a little bit about AddShoppers. Not going to go into a huge long pitch right now, but essentially, AddShoppers starts with a belief that on-site marketing should be as agile and powerful as email marketing. So one of the issues, and we'll probably hear about this a little bit later today, that most of our clients come to us with is it takes way too much time, energy, and resources to launch campaigns or promotions on the site. And that's what we help solve with our on-site marketing platform. You can see some of the clients on the bottom of the screen. So The Economist, Hanes, Moscot, Le Creuset being a couple selected clients out of those. And let's go ahead and introduce you guys to Mabel. So I'll let you tell us a little bit about Mabel's Labels, Joe, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So Mabels, we make kids' name labels, sticky labels that stick on their clothes and their toys and that kind of stuff. We're a Canadian e-commerce company founded by 4 moms in 2003. And just this year, we were purchased by Avery for $12 million.
Cool, awesome. Thanks, Joe. So really fun company. And if you ever check out their website, it's a like I said, like really fun, products, labels, and stuff like that. So definitely check them out. And now let's go ahead and dive into it. So before AddShoppers, obviously there were a number of problems or pain points or things that weren't working as well as the team at Mabel's wanted them to. So you'll see some of those listed over there on the left, but what I'm really interested is hearing straight from the source. So if you don't mind, Joe, like what was it like before AddShoppers? If you could paint me a picture of maybe the situation that you guys were in before starting with AddShoppers.
you're sending me back to a dark time with this, but whenever it was difficult whenever we wanted to launch new promos, and we're an e-commerce platform, a retailer, and we have promos pretty regularly. We have flash sales that last for a day. Sometimes we have sales that span a month, and sometimes we need to be really agile in getting those promotions out in front of the customers. So what we had to do before was essentially run to IT and say, we need help, stop what you're doing, this is more important, and kind of take over what they were doing so they could help us get our stuff going. Or if they couldn't do it, then we would have to wait, and maybe sales would suffer. So there was always kind of that tug of war with getting the great idea, the great promotion up on the site. That was a very difficult struggle for us.
Yeah,
Another issue that we had was lead generation. Um, we're always looking for ways to increase our lead gen, and with annual list decay being what it is, um, higher than all marketers wanted to. We want to keep getting fresh people in, and to be able to send our newsletters to them. So on the site, we only had the only way to do that was to sign up with an email account. So social login was a huge um, piece of the puzzle for us that was missing at the time, and another problem that we needed to solve. And there was another one. Let's see. Oh yeah, so there was a loyalty program that we had in the works, and um, it seemed like it was going to be very large in scope for IT, and there were some technical hurdles that they were trying to overcome. And then, so we found out about AddShoppers, and they were able to kind of solve all three of these problems um, with their refer a friend program, with their social login, and with their behavioral targeting. So um, those pain points started to
yeah.
go away pretty quickly.
That's awesome to hear. One question for you, Joe. How, if you had to estimate, doesn't have to be exact, but how long did it take you guys to like launch a new promotion? You know, going through that whole like IT process before AddShoppers.
Um, well, after a while and all of the issues that people had gone through, and just learning from past mistakes of what to do and what not to do, they kind of got it down to a bit of a science where they could get it done in 1 or 2 days. But there was nowhere near the like the desired effect. It would just be minimal copy or an image update or something like that. We couldn't really do anything creative or extra fun with the site that we wanted to. So it was a big sacrifice
Uh-huh. Yeah, cool.
and less impact.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So you've heard a little bit about kind of the pain points, the problems they had. So they obviously kind of mapped those out into goals. So they wanted to utilize the behavioral targeting app to generate new customer acquisition. So like Joe mentioned, the list, their list was growing stagnant. They were losing subscribers with list decay. So they needed to replace those lost subscribers with new email addresses. And so they chose behavioral targeting to help with that. They also, like you mentioned, sales volume was sometimes being sacrificed. So anything you can do there around improving the conversion rates on cart abandoners is going to have a huge impact. So you'll also see in a little bit about how we targeted people that were abandoning their carts and brought them back, and basically saved those sales. And then lastly, user experience is something that's always of critical importance for just about anyone with a website, really. So that was another one of the goals that they wanted to use our platform for. So like Joe mentioned, some of the things they had in place before, it was more basic and it didn't provide the user experience that they wanted. And then by transitioning over to AddShoppers, they were able to get that user experience that they wanted and make changes faster. So sounds basically like a win-win. Cool. And so let's show you guys, before we dive into the actual, we'll show you guys the campaigns and the things they did, but here's what they ended up with, kind of the after picture here. So by the end of 2016, where we are now, their overall conversion rate was up about 19%, revenue was up about 17%, and they were able to increase the conversion rate during their busiest season about 23%. So obviously, conversion rate, revenue up across the board is always great to see. Joe, if I'm really interested in learning, like from your perspective, how did AddShoppers play into these increases that we're looking at?
Well, a really big one for us is the cart abandon. Um, Not only because that compels shoppers to um, sign up and give us their email address to go onto our newsletter, which is going right into one of our channels, but also they have a little timer up on the site and a coupon code saying, you have 30 seconds, or so, excuse, not 30 seconds, 30 minutes to use this if you still want to. So um, more often than not, it would result in purchases right there. So our conversion rates were increasing, but also we were then being able to directly market to them via email. So that was really big for us. Um, Behavioral targeting in terms of the pop-ups and being able to get the right messages in front of the right people at the right time. Being a Canadian company and serving customers in North America, we kind of have three different storefronts. We have a US storefront, a Canadian English storefront, and a Canadian French storefront. So sometimes stuff is happening on one of those storefronts that isn't relevant to the other two. Um, we were going to have a postal strike in Canada this past summer, and we had to get that information out to our customers because we offer free shipping, and we just had to let them know about possible disruptions and all that. And we were able to achieve that, getting that information out to the customers really quickly, effectively, and easily using just informational pop-up. And we still saw sale increases during that time, even though the shipping was going to be more expensive. So it was
Cool.
great.
Awesome. Yeah, and we'll actually have that campaign. So you can see it a little bit later. So yeah, kind of a good lead in right there actually into behavioral targeting. So like we mentioned earlier, this was really the first app that they kind of pulled off the shelf and started using to drive the first tangible results that they saw. So we'll go into a little bit of what they did with behavioral targeting. So here's why they ended up going with behavioral targeting. So they had these issues that you can see here. So um, the site, I guess, was a little bit hard to work with. So they had top banners that they were using beforehand, but the maintenance that was required for those and also the SEO issues made those a little bit um, they didn't perform as well as they wanted them to. And then also, behavioral targeting opened the door to some things that they had wanted to start doing, such as um, targeting specific product lines and also segmenting offers out by geographic location. Because, like Joe just mentioned, they have different storefronts and they target different locations. So, being able to segment out different parts of that total audience and showing targeted offers for each one is super powerful. And then, so I'll pull up a couple examples of the campaigns that they ran here in a second. Some of the things that we'll look at are segmented inventory push campaigns, like I mentioned, PR campaigns, and then we'll also show some of the campaigns that helped grow their list, like we mentioned before. So here's the first one. So we've talked about this one a little bit. Here's a visual so you can see what it looks like. And this was the cart abandon campaign that really had a big impact. So this offer right here that pops up when you're abandoning your checkout achieved a almost 22% conversion rate. So this is taking people they're in their cart, so they're showing some kind of purchase intent, but for whatever reason, they're leaving the cart. So we'll show an offer like this right at the point of abandon to re-engage this potential customer and try and get them to convert. So this is what it looks like. It says save 10% and just enter your email to reveal the coupon code. And that's what this one looked like. Anything you'd like to add to this, Joe?
It's crazy how effective this is. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't wait till we have this in our shopper portal.
Yes, that will be really cool too. And we'll definitely look at the shopper portal here a little bit later. And then, so here's one. And I'll just go ahead and let you talk a little bit about some of these campaigns as we go through here, Joe. But this is one that was used to push out specific content and product lines.
Yeah, so we're adding donut icons to our stickers. We've been trying to add newer icons every month this year, and in the summer we had donuts. So we wanted to let everyone know this is the launch. Put it on this particular product, and you can save 50% for a few days. And it was a great product launch for us.
Yeah, awesome. And as you can see, it converted at 7.5%. So definitely nothing to laugh at there.
Nope.
Next up, so here is an example of the GeoBased campaign. So what was the campaign behind this one all about?
This was trying to increase. I can't remember. Let me just read this. Sorry. The thing is, we had like 3 or 4 different shipping issues because of the Canada Post Strike. So they get a little bit confused in my mind. Um, so yeah, so because the strike was looming, um, customers we started to see a bit of a slowdown in purchases because customers were trying to buy stuff for their kids' camps, labels for their kids' camps, clothes and gear and all that stuff. And if they thought that they weren't going to get it in time, there was no point in them ordering it. So we wanted to let them know, like, you can get a savings on these. We're working with Canada Post on their express shipping to get you an even better deal. So you can save now, and we want you to still shop and get your labels in time for camp.
Yeah, nice. And then you'll see here in this example, this is key. Right above where it says shop and save now, it calls out like a little notification that the mail delivery in Canada is still operating with little to no anticipated delay. So because they knew that people were putting off their purchases because they were afraid that they wouldn't get it in time, this little message right here helps restore confidence and that people need to go ahead and complete their checkout.
Yeah, it was good anxiety reliever.
Yeah, totally. Cool. So next up, so here is the ship or the postal strike one that we've talked about a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. This is so Canada Post didn't anticipate the volume of express shipping orders they would get when they went on strike. So then we had to work with FedEx. So we switched over, and this is kind of a similar thing, but it deals with FedEx instead.
Yeah, nice. So if I remember correctly, you guys were able to push this one out like pretty quickly.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it
nice.
was it was a crazy time. I was working with the team at AddShoppers, like emailing back and forth like crazy every day, testing and giving them new specs. Like, oh no, the news has changed. Can you please update? We need a new one. And they were fabulous. It was incredible.
How much of a pain in the butt would that have been before AddShoppers?
Oh my gosh, it would have been a nightmare. It would have been like I don't know how we could have handled it other than just put a huge thing on our homepage saying we don't know what's going on. Click here for we don't know about the strike.
Well, I'm so glad, yeah, we were able to make that much more easier on your side and also a better user experience than we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And then so here's a made in Canada pop up, and it looks like I think the idea behind this one, and I'd love to get the Mabel's insight, is to connect with the Canadian consumers and on that you're in Canada, we're all Canadian made, born and raised in Canada, kind of thing, as kind of like an entry announcement pop up, welcome into the site. Is that what you guys were kind of going for here?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to build awareness for our Canadian customers that we are in fact a Canadian homegrown product, and just to build that awareness. And
Cool.
yeah, it was pretty successful, and it's something that we're going to do again.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. So the thing that's worth pointing out here is This campaign here converted at over 5%, but there's no incentive. So,
Nope.
if maybe you're a brand and you don't like to discount or you can't discount, there's definitely things that you can do like this that we can help brainstorm with you, or you can just look at examples that people have already done, such as this, and still get results and conversions without having to discount. Especially right here on the welcome entry message. Maybe you don't like to discount there. Maybe you can do a little bit of discounting around the cart, but you can't really do anything until people get there. Here's a perfect example of how you can still show some kind of a message without having to offer a discount, but still get a good conversion rate. So this
Hmm.
is an example I really like. Yeah, so bringing it back to the results a little bit. So we've talked a little bit about the pain points. We've talked about the goals that came out of those pain points. So here's a little bit on the actual tangible results that we saw. So with the lead generation, obviously they were losing people over time. List decay was an issue. As a result of being able to capture email addresses with behavioral targeting, they got 24,000 new contacts. As far as the cart abandon goes, they actually increased the conversion rate on people that were leaving their carts by almost 500%. And the revenue was up by 82% for the promotions that they were showing. What did you think about these results as you saw them come in, Joe?
Well, I didn't believe them at first. Like I thought there was something wrong with the reporting, but after getting that straight, it was like and seeing it, we were just so thrilled. This is great. Like how do we replicate this? How do we do more of it? And how do we if we can see these results, can we see even better results?
Yeah, awesome. And obviously, that's what we're working on now. And we'll show you a little bit about the other things that we have done as a result of that with the shopper portal. So Mabel's Labels was one of the first clients to roll out our shopper portal. If you're not familiar with that, I will show you kind of a preview of what it looks like on the screen. So basically, the idea behind the shopper portal is it takes all of our apps and it integrates it into one promo portal, obviously. You'll see it here in the screenshot on the right. It slides out here, so it's a better user experience. It avoids what Google calls intrusive interstitials, which are going to be targeted, and there's going to be a penalty on those starting on January 10th on mobile devices. So everything, your promotions are held within this little bubble here, and then only when you tap or click on it does it expand. And that's the basic idea of the shopper portal. You can put any number of campaigns in there, so it's all consolidated into one spot. And that's basically it. And I mean, really, the big thing with the portal is it's a better user experience, and it's not going to be targeted, by Google or penalized. And we've also seen actually in our testing so far that using the portal compared to the mobile pop-up that's going to be penalized actually gives you a higher conversion rate when it comes to email capture. So some really exciting stuff coming with the shopper portal. And like I said, Mabel's Labels was one of the very first to actually use it and launch some campaigns. So during the Black Friday and Cyber Monday shopping holiday, we built out a shopper portal for Mabel's to use, and you'll see a screenshot of it here. Here's their Black Friday sale, was the main kind of promotion that they had in the portal, and then when you click on it, it expands and shows more information on the sale. So I guess I'll start with what do you like about the shopper portal?
I love that it was built with mobile first in mind because mobile is it's clearly the future. It's the now and the future of where internet is going, and just having this be built mobile first, but also mimic a lot of stuff that happens on mobile. It doesn't necessarily happen on desktop, but you still understand on desktop when you use it. It just makes it such an amazing experience on mobile. That's the first thing that jumps out at me.
Yeah, nice. How was the experience in getting this set up?
It was a snap. In terms of what we had to pass over in creative assets, it was a lot easier. Just passed over some information, and it turned around a lot more quickly, even than what you guys were turning around before.
Cool,
And you
nice.
guys were turning stuff around quickly before, so yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and then how did you guys do during the Black Friday and Cyber Monday holidays?
Well, we surpassed our fiscal goals. So we were up year over year. Our conversion rates were up. Qualified traffic was up. It was the feedback internally was brilliant. We had great feedback externally as well. Everyone loved it.
Cool. Awesome. So good to hear. So yeah, so that was obviously over the shopping holidays, which was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So hasn't been too long since then, but we are already looking forward to the next steps. So I think so what we're going to be doing now in the future is migrating more campaigns into the shopper portal and really using that as, I think the home base for everything that they're doing as far as on-site marketing. Um, is that accurate, Joe?
Yeah, I like to think of it as our site is just our site, and it runs how it runs, and we do all of our marketing and all of our promoting right there in that little hat that the site wears, little add-on. It's amazing.
Nice. Anything you're particularly excited about, trying out going forward with it?
I'm interested in learning more of just how we can personalize and really get to what level of personalization can we get to and seeing where that can go.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. That's definitely a big thing with the portal. We can launch maybe a segmented out version for Mabel's, maybe a US version and a Canadian version would be an obvious example that comes to mind. Obviously, there's a lot more
Hmm.
that we can build into it. So definitely looking forward to doing more around the portal, getting everything integrated into one place, and being able to manage that and make changes so much more quickly than before. Um, so yeah, that's basically it. Again, I'm really excited. I think Joe is also really excited about
I am.
what we're gonna do in the future. So, any questions? We'll go ahead and do and take some questions now. So, if there's anything you have any questions for me or questions for Joe, please do not hesitate to go ahead and ask us. While those are coming in, I'll also just go ahead and cover my contact information. So you see my email address up there on the left and Joe's on the right. So any questions, just don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be happy to help however I can. If you want to learn more about ad shoppers, maybe talk about the shopper portal or brainstorm campaigns or ways we can help, just go to addshoppers.com. And definitely check out mabelslabels.com if you just want to see what they're doing. If you need to buy some labels, definitely the place to go.
They're
And
really good. You should check it out.
definitely cool. So a couple questions that came in. I will go ahead and looks like there's a couple for me and a couple for Joe as well. I'll give one here to you, Joe, first. So the question
Sure.
is, do you think it's in a brand's best interest to promote product lines rather than coupon-based campaigns?
In a brand's best interest to promote product lines rather than coupon-based campaigns? Yeah, absolutely. You'd want to get the products in front of the face rather than the discounts. I think that's going to be more in the brand's best interest. The more you devalue the brand, the more you discount, the more you train your customers to expect discounts in devaluing your product. So you kind of want to be pretty strategic about how you use discounting, and yeah, I think it's better for the brand to show product.
Cool. I think I'll jump in on that one too. Actually, I think if you some of the examples that we showed kind of show they illustrate what Joe was just mentioning, where some of those like that entry campaign comes to mind, where we're just talking about the the made in Canada fact, no discount there, but maybe when people get closer and closer to a purchase, for example, the cart abandonment campaign, then it's not too bad to toss in a coupon or some kind of a discount because they've already shown that they're interested in the product by browsing the site, adding a product to the cart, making it to the checkout. So then then the discounting is okay. So I think it also, the
Yeah,
order that you do it in matters.
that's a good point.
Cool. So question, I'll take this one kind of for me here. So is there a way to test the portal on your site against individual modals? So that is definitely a good question, and especially if you're first launching, your portal, you may want to try maybe A/B testing it versus a traditional pop-up modal. So that's definitely something that you can do. As far as is there a way to do it? Yes, there is. I think it makes sense to do. Maybe on desktop only. Obviously, on mobile, you'll probably want to just go ahead and start with a portal. Since January 10th really isn't too far away, we're definitely less than a month away from that now when the Google change happens. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that on mobile maybe because we may just be a little bit too late, a little too close to the deadline there. But on desktop, definitely, I think that makes sense. Cool. So here I like this one. The next question here for you, Joe. So did having the portal bring up any new goals for your marketing team?
Um, Not yet, but they're coming. The main goal was just getting all of our defaults in there. So it was kind of a hurry up offense to get um, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday countdown timer on there, and so we just went with like a basic package. And so now we're in the process of getting kind of all of our default content in there, and then so there will be some new goals forthcoming with it in early Q1.
Cool. Awesome. And we will be anxious to see what comes out of that and what we'll be able to build out with the portal, for those goals. So cool. Next up, so what else can I do with the portal? Good question. So a couple things you can do that we've seen are some of the other clients that have started building out shopper portals that are definitely worth sharing. One that I find really appealing is the ability to embed a video into the portal. So if you have any kind of maybe like either it could be a product explainer video, it could be maybe a video that introduces people to your brand or anything like that, you can put that directly inside of the portal. So, once you can get people to watch a video, they're so much more engaged, and anything that you can show in that video that really gets the value of your products across is obviously going to help increase conversions when people just understand your products. So that's one that I think is really, really powerful. Another one that's really interesting is the ability to do contests inside of the portal. So one client recently, they did a 12 days of Christmas giveaway campaign inside of the portal where every day they were giving away a different product, and you could enter to win that product inside of the campaign. And then you could also, after you entered, you could share out the giveaway itself, again, still inside of the portal, to get another entry into the giveaway to increase your odds of winning. And and I thought that was really cool to see. Again, it captures email addresses to get people into the giveaway and then generates sharing on the back end. So seeing all of that run inside of the shopper portal is really cool to see. So those are two things that come to mind. The portal does give you a lot of flexibility, so I'm sure we'll have more to share as we go through here. But those are two other things that I don't think we've looked at today, but they're really cool things that you can do with the portal. Okay, so that is the last question. Again, if you do have a question, now is the time before we go ahead and wrap up here. So just lingering here for a moment. Okay, I don't think we're going to get any more. So that's basically it, and that concludes today's webinar. Thank you to everybody for showing up. I really hope you enjoyed it. Email me your feedback. I'd love to hear it. And obviously, a big thank you to Joe for not just being an awesome client, but for spending a couple minutes with us here on the webinar today.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure and an honor, and thanks everyone for showing up.
Awesome, cool, thanks. Well, we'll go ahead and shut it off now. Again, we will have the recording out as soon as it is available. And that's pretty much it. So thank you again, everybody. Take care and have a fantastic day.